hope you're hungry because you're listening to Everybody Eats.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Everybody Eats podcast. It's your host, Bensky Belazaire. We are here with our very special guest today, Mr. Cash. Man, really good stuff. So we want to thank you for being on today's show.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Everybody eats, B.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Everybody eats. So before we get into that, make sure you're following us on all platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. We're on all of those, so make sure you're checking us out. We have all the snippets, and make sure we're on all platforms where you can listen to podcasts: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that. So Everybody Eats podcast. So make sure you're tuning in, and I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy during these times. All right, so on that note, let's get into today's episode. Let's get into our guest today, Mr. Cash. Man, you do a lot. I know you're author, speaker, financial coach, all that good stuff. So if you could briefly introduce yourself, where you from originally, what do you do, how'd you get into what you do now and all that good stuff?
Yeah. I'm a kid from Harlem, so that's why everybody eats like that. That resonates with me. I grew up in the St. Nicholas Projects on 29th Street, 8th Avenue, Harlem, USA, home of the hustlers. I've been an entrepreneur all my life, man. 8 years old, packing bags at the local supermarket. 12 years old, kind of graduated to selling mixtapes and T-shirts, at 125th Street. So I've always been an entrepreneur. By 17, I got a job at a video store, fresh out the Blockbuster videos. Got my first job at 17, realized that I was really good at selling, but I knew that there wasn't much longevity working at a video store, and thank God I had the foresight. By 19, I was, by 18 actually, I was an assistant manager there, and then by 19, one of the other assistant managers came, to all the managers at Blockbuster and was like, yo, they're hiring for tellers at Chase Bank. And so I already had like customer service experience. I had management experience. I was like, you know what, ain't but so far I could get, working at the, at the video store. So I took a chance, applied to be a teller. And the rest is sort of history. I did everything in banking, was a teller, personal banker, private banker, branch manager, CEO, actually one of the youngest CEOs of a federally chartered bank when I was 31 years old. Actually, when I was in the bank, I was one of the youngest VPs there. I became a vice president at Chase. I was 24 years old. And just, enjoyed working and trying to push myself and see how far I could get within corporate America. But once an entrepreneur, always an entrepreneur. So I always had that itch to really control my own financial destiny. And so I decided to leave banking. It actually happened when I was, working at the bank. I used to volunteer. I used to go to Rikers Island, go to churches, and really like teach about financial education. And I loved it so much that I was like, yo, how can I get money doing this? And I wrote my first book, and I mean, the rest is history. Now I'm a financial educator. I'm an author 8 times over. I've had 4 bestsellers. I've been on every single media outlet you can think of. So from everything, like New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Money Magazine, Sway in the Morning, CNBC, whatever. You name it, I've probably been on it. I'm Googleable too. So if you be like, yo, who is this dude? I ain't never heard of him before. You do your Googles and you'll see that, I put in some work. You know what I'm saying? I'm an OG. At one point, I wasn't accepting my OG status, but I figured I'm an OG now. You know what I'm saying?
You put in your time. You put in your time. Nah, definitely. So, would you say your book was? Well, obviously you say you've been hustling, entrepreneur since the jump, right? So, would you say that your book was the first step into, I guess, like exploring and expanding that, and like how did that come about?
Yeah, definitely the book, because what happened was. I wanted to be a speaker because that's what I love to do. I love to speak. I rock crowds. Like if I wasn't a speaker, I probably could drop 16. Now I'm not a good rapper. You know what I'm saying? But no, I love to speak. I rock crowds. I got videos out there. So if you don't like anything I'm saying is you can fact check it, right? Yeah. And so like when I say I burn down stages, I burn down stages. And so I love speaking, but when I was just a banker or a financial educator, and I was like, hey, book me to do your conference. It wasn't sexy to be like, yo, I'm a former banker, or I'm a financial educator. And so somebody put me on again. It was like, you need to write a book. I was like, write a book? I'm not a good writer. Like, I didn't get good grades in writing or whatever. But they're like, yo, if you want to really get paid as a speaker, write a book. All right, so I wrote my first book. Luckily, my wife, graduated with an English degree, and so she the person that makes everything sound good, because I write the way I talk. And the rest was sort of history. I guess it started it because once I wrote the book, my first year I really didn't sell any books, but I was able to really get speaking engagements. So now it's it's not this the former banker. Now it's the author of MindRight, MoneyRight, Telling Financial Freedom. Like, that's just more powerful than former banker, right? And so that ushered the way into entrepreneurship. And as I started to speak, and then as I started to get like $200, $300, as because I self-publish on my books, and so when I started getting $200 a month, $300 a month, I'm like, yo, there's something to this book writing thing. So I started writing more books. I started getting more checks, and then as I started to do more media and get out there more, I started realizing that there's a whole other lane where I could create an ecosystem around me as a financial educator. So whether it's consultations, whether it's book writing, whether it's online courses, whether it's corporations hiring me to teach their to teach their students, teach their employees. Like, there was just so much I could do around being a financial educator, and that's what sparked my brain. I was like, oh, this is the lane I want to be in. That's the lane I'm gonna stay in, and I'm gonna ride this till the wheels fall off. Got
it. I was gonna say, like, I guess that kind of makes me think of that, like, 7 streams of income. Sometimes you hear that, like, when people say they need 7 streams, sometimes they think they need 7 different jobs or 7 completely different, like, hobbies or what. But you kind of just said, like, it all kind of stems back from like the original, I guess, book, or the original idea of just being a financial advisor. Just like the book starts, and then you could just like add everything on top of that.
Yeah, that's a great point, Vinsky, and I want to stay there for a second, because I think that's what people are misunderstanding, right? When people, so the saying is, in order to be a millionaire, like the average millionaire has 7 sources of income. I believe that everybody should have at least 4, right? So if you want to be financially free, you should have at least 4. And to your point, I love that you mentioned that, because I think that's the biggest misconception. When someone hears 7 streams of income, they're like, well, maybe I got to figure out 7 things to do. But I think just like you mentioned, the right way to go about it is to find that one thing that you can do, and then find 7 ways to monetize it. That makes it easier, because they all feed into each other, right?
Yeah,
and so, like, for me, for instance, every single day I wake up and I go on Instagram, I motivate, I inspire people, and from that one action of inspiring and motivating people with finances, I'm pushing all of my businesses. I'm pushing my books. I'm pushing me as a speaker. I'm pushing consultation. I'm pushing one-on-ones. I'm pushing my online courses. I'm pushing all of this stuff by this one act of just being who I am and who I love to be. And that's the best way. When you don't really got to go out there and just do different things and put different energies in different places, you can put one energy into one place, and then it blossoms. It's like, it's almost like cloning yourself, because you have these different businesses that feed in to this one person that you are.
Definitely. Eden, you have anything to add?
Well, I mean, the point you just made about monetizing that one thing in 7 different ways, I feel like, a lot of people, it's kind of rehearsed in a sense, where people say, millionaire has 7 different streams of income, but monetizing one thing in 7 different ways is actually a really interesting take on it. I have one question. I looked at your page, and you said, excuse me if I'm... Okay, so I was on your page, and I saw that you said you're not broke, you're just not spending money on things that'll make you rich. And My question for you was, what things did you start spending your money on that would make you rich?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my whole philosophy is mind right, money right, right? And so meaning changing your mindset. So everything is mind right. So my name of my company is Mind Right Money Management, and it all starts with a mindset. And the number one thing I teach people is that you got to change your relationship with money, right? Instead of working hard for money, money needs to work hard for you. And so what I mean by that is that everybody has taught. I know for me, I was taught. Growing up in a urban environment, low income, I was taught to work hard for money, right? Wake up every day, go to school, work hard, and then I got to keep working hard to make money. But wealthy people know that in order to continue to make money, you have to work hard. However way you get the money, but now you take that money and you invest it in things that allow you to create a residual income over and over and over again. And so for me, my first piece of becoming wealthy was my books, right? Because I created the books one time, and I'm able to sell them over and over and over again without having to spend money doing that, right? I wrote my first book in 2009. To this day, I still get checks. People still buy the book. It's still doing well. And so that was something that I did, before one time, and it was able to create income for me. I'm into real estate, so I own property, and I have tenants, and so that's another way that I've taken money and applied that to property that I own, and allow my tenants to pay me over and over again. The other traditional ways like stocks, or my retirement account, things of that nature, where I've been able to take some money, put it in that, and allow it to pay me. But then even my online properties, right? And so I also have through MindRight Money Management, I have an online school called MindRight Money Academy. And so I offer courses there. I have a monthly subscription that people pay me each month to gain knowledge on how to manage their finances better. And that brings me residual income. I have courses that I created one time, and there's videos, there's all these different things that come with the courses. As people buy those, it pays me over and over again. And so, intellectual property, real property, and investment property are in a nutshell what I've been able to do. I would say that I am in a process of jumping into affiliate marketing. So that's my next stream of income that I'm going to do. Because what I realize is that there's so much I want to teach. There's so much I can talk about. But it'll take me so much time to try to recreate the wheel. Everybody eats, B. Why not find somebody who already has an investment course? Instead of me creating an investment course, why don't I partner with somebody who has an investment course? I got a large social media following. I got a tribe. My MindRight Money Moguls is what we call them. I have a tribe of MindRight Money Moguls who who trust me, who will listen to what I say. And so why not push them? I vet out these products, these services, and why not push them to there and create some affiliate marketing money? So that's another thing that I'm working on. But I'm always trying to figure out ways. But to your question, those are just a few ways that I've been able to monetize, create wealth. Because I think the word rich is about working hard for money. So if you have the ability to work, then you're rich. But if you allow your money to work for you, become wealthy. The other thing, though, too, is that I don't put a dollar amount on rich or wealthy, because anybody who has breath in their body is rich, because they're able to work and they have the ability to bring money. If you have money working for you, then you're wealthy, because who says $1 million is what you need to be wealthy, right? Like I know people who make millions of dollars, but they spend $1.1 million and they're broke. They're living paycheck to paycheck. Yeah. And then I know people who make low six figures, $100,000, but they live off of $30,000. So they're good, yeah, right? And they killing it, and they're wealthier than the millionaire. Or the person who makes millions of dollars. And so I think wealth is also a mindset. Wealth is also about what you say it is. As long as you have that criteria of creating something that can make money for you, then you build wealth for yourself.
Definitely. I like that.
That's a fact. Broke is just the mindset.
Yeah, like they say, like broken poverty is a mindset. It's just like, you know, like you said, if you could be making $1 million, but if your expenses are 1,000,001, you're broke. You know, so it doesn't matter. It
they don't add up. Numbers don't add up.
Exactly. So on that note, we'll conclude this segment. Thank you for going over your background. So we'll conclude this segment. We're going to go into the second segment of the quote of the day. Eden will pull that up for us. So we'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to segment 2 of the Everybody Eats podcast. We just had a great segment with Cash talking about his background, talking about money. Now we'll go into the quote of the day. So Eden has that for us. What we got?
All right, so the quote is, "My brain is a powerful weapon. When used incorrectly, it's dangerous."
Any tips?
A musician said this, or
You said musician?
You said a musician? Was it Lenny Kravitz? No. What's the guy? Damn, what's this guy's name? I don't know. I was gonna say, what's the guy that says when it's everything will be alright in the end. If it's not alright, then it's not the end. Was it Lenny? Damn, what's this guy's name? It's not Lenny Kravitz. John Lennon. Was it John Lennon?
Edom?
Alright.
I think he cut out and cut back in.
I completely kicked me out this time. Oh, I'm in here twice.
Okay, that's crazy. Yeah, is it John Lennon though?
Wait, what happened? Sorry.
I asked guess if it's John Lennon.
Is it John Lennon?
No.
Okay. All right.
Is he like a rapper?
How many more guesses can I give?
My brain is a powerful weapon. If used right, it's dangerous.
Now, when used incorrectly, it's dangerous.
When used incorrectly,
okay.
it's dangerous.
Yeah, so it's a twist on the normal saying.
I don't know. Who is it?
No other guesses? None?
Nah, but you said musician. Give us another. African American.
All right, we talking like hip hop. We talking like soul. We talking like R&B.
I mean, he dabbles.
So he's alive.
Yeah, he's alive.
J. Cole.
Dabbles in a bit of each. No.
And a bit of
he dabbles.
Yeah.
Kanye West.
Nah, I think he's not a big name. Like he's known, but he's not really a big name.
Dang.
I'm a big fan of this person personally.
Dang.
All right, so Edom is a big fan.
that was more towards. I guess it was a hint very geared towards Bensky. Any other hint I give is gonna give it up.
Dang.
Okay, so give me. Can you tell me where he's from? How about Chance the Rapper? There we go.
Is it?
No.
No?
He's from the DMV area. I'll say that.
DMV.
Wale.
Yeah.
There we go.
Wale.
There we go.
DMV, baby.
There we go.
My fellow Nigerian brother.
No.
So say it one more time.
My brain is a powerful weapon. When used incorrectly, it's dangerous.
It's dangerous. Is that from a song?
Yeah. No. So I actually, when he dropped his most recent album, Wow, That's Crazy, I watched a lot of his interviews, and he said that in one of his interviews, the interview was asking him about why he does a lot of pondering and his emotional journey throughout all his music and even through the album, and that was one of the responses he gave.
Right.
So yeah, so I mean, I see it as it is a pretty decent twist. I mean, if you out here using, your talents for the wrong things, not only does it affect others, but, it's mainly going to affect you. So incorrect use of your brain, it is the intellectual, the second part of the word is blanking on me. But like you said, intellectual wealth and everything, that does play into a whole lot of other aspects of our lives as well. So
Yeah, definitely. I was thinking of the first thing that kind of came to my head was like, with great power comes great responsibility, right? So like, you know, and similar, we had an episode maybe like last week or 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about your influence, right? Using your influence for positively and negatively. And similar how Edom said, like, you can use your talent. You can use your talent for good, or you can use your talent, you know, to be productive, or you could use that same talent and use it for something unproductive, or use it for something, you know, like bad, like that. So that's why I understood, like, if you have something, if you have a talent, if you have a skill, like if you have that, you want to make sure you're using it properly, because if not, right, you could be using it for the wrong reasons, and it can be dangerous, right, and it could be unproductive. So that's what kind of came to my head.
Yeah, and I agree, and I honestly, I think it goes both ways. You know, it's like, you know, if you use it for the wrong thing, it could be dangerous. But if you use it for the right thing, it could be dangerous in a positive way. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, at the end of the day, you create your life. You know, you create it, and the direction your life goes is based on how you use your mind. And if you use it right, then that'll be dangerous. You know, like you could literally have everything you want. You can help as much people as you want, but it's really about staying focused and deciding, right? You making a decision on, you know, which way you want your life to go.
I'm assuming mind right, money right, right? That's it. Mind right, mind right, money right. Definitely. So on that note, we'll go into our third segment where we'll talk more about the book, specifically process of writing that book, and a little bit more in that public speaking that you mentioned earlier. So we'll wrap this up. All right, welcome back to our third segment of Everybody Eats podcast. We just had our quote of the day. Make sure you're using your mind right, or if you're using it wrong, it can be dangerous. So for this segment, we want to talk about more of, I know you're an author, you say 8 times over, right? So I want to talk about one, mainly I love the public speaking space, right? That's something that I was blessed to be able to do a TED Talk a couple years back, and that's something that I see myself in the future. I'm like, I would love to get into public speaking, but I never really knew how, right? Like, what is the first steps to do that? And you mentioned briefly that, your boy put you on saying start with writing a book. So we could start with that entire process of starting the book process, and getting into public speaking. Like, how was that journey like for you?
Yeah, so definitely. I think the first step was really writing the book. And using that as a way to get introduced into platforms to speak, right? And so, for me, writing the book compared to 11 years ago to now is a whole totally different process. While it took me about 8 months to write the book, when I first wrote, my first book, I now can write a book. 2 months start to finish, maybe 6 weeks if I go hard. And so now I dictate all my books. I start with the end in mind. I figure out what is it that I want to talk about. Then I work my way backwards, outline the book, pretend as if I'm teaching and speaking the book, to an audience, record it, edit it, put it out. Once the book is there, I think that the next step is, before you try to go out for speaking, is getting press. Because what happens is that, there's just so many people that are out there that say they're speakers and do this and do that. So you want to make yourself stand out, in the marketplace, and you want to be able to try to charge more, or try to get what you think you're worth as a speaker. So I would say, once the book is done, go out there, do a press release. And when you do a press release, it's literally telling the world that you have this book. And if you do a right press release and get it distributed the right way, you could get some major media attention, and sometimes people might reach out to you to do interviews and things of that nature. And then from there, it's really just taking that and packaging it into a one sheet. So having a good photo of yourself, photo shoot, a good bio that says who you are, the title of your book, some topics of what you speak about, and literally it's just reaching out to people that you think would appreciate your style of speaking, the audience would appreciate what you do, and really sending out that one sheet to them. So I have a one sheet that really breaks down. It has my name, my photo, where I've been featured, my bio, what topics I talk on, and I send that out to to organizations. I send that out to schools. I send it out to conferences, that look at the speakers. And the other good thing about it too is making sure that you have a place where you live, like your own home, right? A lot of people, they got LinkedIn or they got Instagram. People say the websites are dead, but I think that for a public speaker, you should have a website. You should have a home. And your home you should be talking your ish. You know what I'm saying? So if you go to my website, IamAshCash.com, that's why I could command a certain dollar. Because when you go to my website, I'm not playing, right? The first thing that you see a good, good photo of myself. So you're like, oh, this guy look like he gets a little bit of dollars. Then you hit play, right? Then you hit play on the video, and then you like, yo, you know what I'm saying? You see where I've been. Like you see, you see the intro, you see the morning news, you see Sway in the morning, you see, Cheddar with 1 million views. Like you see all of that, and you like, whoa, this guy's a pretty big deal. Then you continue to scroll. You see my bio. You see other videos of me speaking. You see testimonials, and so all of that is a package that you put together. Anytime you want somebody to hire you as a speaker, you don't want them to have to look around and try to see and find out about you. Put it all in one place. And so I would say that. I would say in that order. You write the book. You get your name out there. You do a press release. Now, as you got your press release, you put a concise website together. A one sheet, you start sending that one sheet out, and then you go from there. A lot of times, conferences might have their budget, and then so you might say, hey, based on your budget, I'll take this. Or sometimes when you're first starting out, you might have to do maybe 1 or 2 free events just to get video, right? So don't do free events just for the sake of doing free events. If you're gonna do a free event, hire a videographer. Get somebody to tape you. Make sure that afterwards you get some participants to say how great you were. You get the organizer to say how great you were as a contingency to having you on, right? So if somebody asks you to speak, don't say, oh yeah, no, I'll do this for free, because it's never for free. If you're a good speaker and you spoke, you just gave them whatever your fee is, right? And so if I charge $7,000 to $10,000 to get on somebody's stage, if somebody pays me $1,000, well, I just gave you a $6,000 discount. Right, and so it's never, or if I didn't charge you, then it wasn't free. You got 7,500, you got 10,000, and I want something in return. Right, and so what I want in return, I want a testimonial. I want you to recommend me to all your colleagues that are looking to hire somebody. I want the crowd to be able to give me testimonials. Like it's this fair exchange. And then once you have that, you use that in your packaging. And then it's a numbers game from there, right? Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. The more you reach out to people, the more you have an opportunity to get booked, and then you kind of go from there.
Got it. So my next question I got is like kind of twofold. What if someone is looking to get into public speaking without having a book first? Do you think that's like a disadvantage, or do you think like that's still possible? And then 2, right? Say someone like me, right, young, fresh out of college, like what quote unquote validation do you think like I have, right, for me to write a book and to put my public speaking out there compared to someone seasoned like you? For you, obviously, you have a whole resume, right? But for say someone who's starting off, what tips would you give them for, I guess, looking official, or overcoming that hump of like who's gonna book me?
Yeah. So. Number 1, I would say, yes, you can start speaking without a book. I know a lot of speakers that make good money that don't have books, right? And so it's really how you package yourself. It really depends on your story. It depends on what your message is and who you're trying to reach out to. Number 2, I know a 12-year-old that is killing it, that kills it. Motivational speaker. I think King Nas is 13 now, right? So King Nas, like you might have saw his videos, you might have heard of him. But King Nas, 13 years old, he's killing it. He's a motivational speaker. And so I think that that whole, validation thing, right? Validation is for parking only. You don't need validation. That's it. Like, you don't need validation. Like you are who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can try to change, and that's just the top layer of fam. You was who you was when you got here. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, people are not booking me because of my what I've done, right? Because you may think that, but that's just after the fact, right? They use that to sell the conference. They use that to get people in the audience excited. They're not booking me for that. They booking me because I burned down stages, right? So when in 2009, before I did any media, I did no media, and I was still getting, booked because of my presentation, right? Because I have energy. Like that, you will not meet, somebody that has my energy. There might be 3, 4, there might be 5 people in this world that, you put them on stage and they can match my energy, or we the same. You know what I'm saying? Like my energy different, right? And it took me a while to really be able to pinpoint that. Like, like they rock with me for my energy. I don't drink coffee, right? I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is natural. This is just who I am. My passion is what sells me.
Yeah.
And so as somebody who's young, you just got to figure out who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you know who you are, then you'll never ask the question about validation, right? Because if you know who you are, then you pitch yourself based on that strength.
Yeah.
Because now, once you know who you are, you know who you can reach, right? And I'll give you an example. When I'm from the projects, right? I got kicked out of school 4 times. I went to 3 different high schools, right? I was at risk, right? I was one mistake away from a felony.
Yeah.
And so when I first started speaking, I spoke to at-risk youth, right? That's why I was going to Rikers Island. That's why I was going to churches. I was talking to at-risk youth because my story, I didn't need to validate my story. Best of both worlds. I'm a 24-year-old, VP at a bank who came from the projects, who had to go to 3 different high schools, who was expelled in the 10th grade, right? Like I got expelled in the 10th grade, I had to do the 10th grade over, and then finally graduated, and then was able to make money and build a life. I became a homeowner. I was 25 years old. I don't need, like, what you validating? You're not validating that for me.
Yeah.
Right? Because I got the story already, and I know your audience better than you know your audience. Whoever's booking me.
Yeah.
Right? And I approached them in that way. I'm like, oh, you can't get to them is because you're not bringing people that's credible. Let me tell you about my story, and let me tell you why I will connect with your people automatically. And I was getting booked that way. And then when my story started to change, I started to redirect what I'm talking about. So I don't target at-risk youth no more. I could, right? Like I could if I wanted to, because that's still part of my story. But that's not what I do.
Yeah.
Right? Because I've now gotten to a point where I've helped thousands of people change their mindset to manage their money. I got tons of testimonials. So now I got receipts to be able to do that, and then I focus on that. And so my point is that it's really whatever story you want to tell, and then based on that story that you want to tell, who is your audience?
Yeah.
Who needs to hear that message? And once they need to hear that message, you're good. You know who the 13-year-old talks to? Are the 13-year-olds.
Yeah, it's true.
Right? Like, they need motivation too. And so that's why he goes to schools. And, you know what I'm saying? So somebody fresh out of college, you can easily, talk to youth who are in high school, who want to get into college, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to figure out what your story is. And then once you figure out your story, you start to now pinpoint, all right, this is my story. Who is my target market? And now you start creating pitches for that target market. And you'll never lose, you know what I'm saying? Because as long as you are authentically you, you don't have to pretend to be nobody else, just be you, because you are enough.
Definitely, yeah, no, that's powerful. That's powerful. That kind of reminds me of a couple of conversations even when I was having the other day. I think we were talking about like self-awareness. Pretty much like using your strengths to like maximize your success, essentially, like that. You know what I mean? Like it's not it's not arrogant, or it's not wrong to know what your strengths are and to be proud, like, hey, I'm good at public speaking, I'm good at writing books, right? It's not cocky to say that. That's what your strength is. Now you use that to your advantage to start your business, to promote yourself, to do this, that, and the third. So that's definitely.
We are all kings. I think the black and brown community is the biggest community that makes people try to prove themselves prior to. Nah. Binsky, you know what I'm saying? Like Edom, y'all were born kings. You ain't gotta prove nothing to nobody. Y'all were born kings, right? And so because you were born this way, like it is your right. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to prove nothing to nobody. And so that word, I hate that word cocky. I hate that word. See, cocky and arrogance is about using who you are to bring other people down. Right? And so if I said, yo, Edom, you know what I'm saying, yo, Binsky, yo, I put in work, y'all ain't at my level, you gotta work hard to get to my level, and once you get to my level, you can ask, right? If I was doing that, then I'm being cocky, I'm being arrogant, I'm using what I did to make myself better. We all on the same like we on the same level.
Yeah.
Ain't no levels. Me and Bensky on the same level. Me and Edom on the same level, because we got the same God, right? We got the same, you know, the same, like we all kings, right? And in fact, I'll take it one step further. Is that you know, and I don't want to get religious, right? Whatever you believe in, but at the end of the day, if you believe in God, then understand that God made you in His image, right? If you believe in the universe, then you are one with the universe. Right? If you believe in Allah, Allah says that you are within me. Yeah. Right? You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, I don't even care. Like I'm not preaching to you what you should believe in, but whatever you believe in, all of it is telling you that you were born with this in you. And so if I was born with the likeness of God, and you were born with the likeness of God, what makes me different than you? I'm an OG millennial, so I was born before you. Yeah. But that don't, you know what I'm saying? That don't give me the right to think that I've done anything more special than you. And I think that when we start to understand that, then we're not going to get intimidated by people talking their ish. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying I'm the best financial educator, because I know other people that could bang with me. You know what I'm saying? Pound for pound. Yeah. But we're not even competing, because I think competition is a disrespect to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like there's other people out here who do the same thing I do, and I wish I would look at them and be like, damn, yo, I would. Hell no, I'm Ash Cash. Like that means something. Like I am Ash Cash. I look in the mirror, like that's me. Like I'm Ash Cash. Ain't no other Ash Cash on this earth. Like I'm that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm Ash Cash. You know what I'm saying? And you're Bensky. You know what I'm saying? And you're Edom. Like they ain't no others. You know what I'm saying? And when you walk in that level of, like, that's God talk, though. Not everybody gonna get that. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody gonna get that. That's God talk right there. You know what I'm saying? There's some people who are gonna, you know, be intimidated by it because they don't know their power. God bless them. Pray for them. They don't know their power, because if they knew their power, they would cheer you on. They would be excited to hear you. I love, you know, when people talk their ears. One of my homeboys hit me the other day and was like, yo, I'm a few weeks away from being a millionaire. I was like, yes, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I eat, we all eat. Everybody eats. Everybody eats. You know what I'm saying? And so that's God talking. So I said, you know, I just want to mention that because, you know, I think especially in the Black and brown community, you know, we feel like we gotta prove something. I ain't gotta prove nothing to nobody. Yeah. When I wake up, I'm Ash Cash. With $1 million or with $0, it doesn't even matter. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, I've had a lot of money, I've lost a lot of money. Like none of that does not define who Ash Cash is. You know what I'm saying? And I think I learned this lesson by, you know, going places and never saying who I was, what I did, and I still got the same effect. I walk into a gym, nobody knows me. After 15, 20 minutes, everybody's magnetized towards me because I got that energy. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't even, people worried about who I was. I just walk in my God self. And when you walk in your God self, they like, oh, there's something about that dude. You know what I'm saying? Because I recognize that. So I think, you know what I'm saying, when we all start recognizing our, us being kings and queens and understand that we were born abundant and born, you know, with everything that we need, I think that's what's going to allow us to, you know what I mean, talk our talk and know that talking our talk is just honoring God. That's all that is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Definitely, man. I think that's very powerful. That's very powerful. You have anything you want to add in?
I had questions at first. He started knocking them off, and then he started going and inspiring me. So
Nah, definitely. I think honestly that kind of literally wrapped up a couple of questions that I had in mind too. So I really appreciate that. On that note, Edom, do you have any final questions you want to ask?
Nah, I'm good on my end.
All right, definitely, man. So I think that's a mic drop right there. So on that note, we want to thank you very much for joining us on today's episode. I really appreciate it.
And setting the stage on fire, for real.
Yeah, setting the stage.
Imagine in person, you know. This is virtual fire. More fire. Virtual fire.
Definitely.
Imagine in person, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine in person being able to feed off of the other energy of the crowd, get the crowd going, get the crowd on their feet.
Yeah.
Man, I love it.
Definitely. I wanted to when EOIL they had their event in DC back in December. I was there on the Saturday when they were at the Top Golf, but I wasn't at the live event on the Sunday. I listened to it, but I didn't go to the live event, and I heard you and I was like, man, like I really wish I went. But definitely
burn that down, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's documented. I burned down stages. I got the burn down an NBA stage.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? I couldn't make it to the league, so I had to go a different route.
There we go. There's always a way.
Right, and check out my swag, y'all. Walk like a ball player. You know? That's it.
Definitely. So how can people find you on social media, on Google? I'm sure it's just under Ash Cash, but if you can promote yourself a little bit more, how can people find you, learn more?
Nah, for sure. Visit my website, imashcash.com. Everything is there, my books. Anything you need to learn about me is there, contact information, everything. But definitely follow me on all social media platforms. Instagram is my baby. I spend the most time there. I am Ash Cash. I am Ash Cash on Facebook. I am Ash Cash on Twitter. Make sure I do a live daily show, daily finance show for the culture. Go to ashcashtv.com so you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and then get all of the financial news every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. But yeah, but again, I'm gonna talk my ish. Google. You know what I'm saying? Cash Exantus is my real name, or go Ash Cash. Either or, you'll see my things pop up, and we'll rock out from there.
All right, definitely. On that note, again, thank you very much for joining us today's episode. I know we learned a lot. Our audience learned a lot. Man, I'm gonna see you soon. After all this call.